What up, man? Hold on. Seriously. No, seriously, get away.
I'm gonna leave
Everybody
this in.
get away from my door.
I'm not gonna edit this out. This is gonna be perfect. This is our life as a team. This is what it sounds like when you get to play Nolxero.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, it's good stuff.
Man, if I had a garage and I was out there by myself.
No, dude, even if I had a garage, the chicken would come right out there to the damn garage and do the same shit.
You cussed. I can't leave it in now. Damn it. Oh, it's too good.
Literally, I literally just said we're starting now. Everybody walked away, and as soon as you introduced, it's like, Dad, Mom.
Can you please?
You're listening to the Fortnite Community Podcast with your hosts, TwoLoud, TX, and Nolxero.
What up, and welcome to another episode of the Fortnite Community Podcast. I'm your host, TwoLoud, TX, and here with me today, the one, the only, the obviously 1 HP killer, but more so the Monster Hunter killer the past couple days. Nolxero. What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. Enjoying some Monster Hunter and kind of taking a little hiatus from Fortnite just for a little bit, like a little breather.
Yeah, it has been nice actually. We'll talk more about this later on, but and me and Nolxero will probably do a little special on our Save the World podcast that's going to be coming up this week. But I know I've been saying that for like 4 weeks. Yeah, right. So, but we will probably talk a little bit about Monster Hunter if you guys are interested in that at all.
Really, I just feel like I'm almost to 90 right now. I'm about to hit the last couple tiers of my battle pass. It's been a long haul this season, and I feel like I just needed some time away to really come back and appreciate the game. Like playing it today was a lot of fun, had a good time. Not that I wasn't having fun before, but I definitely was feeling kind of like fatigued a little bit.
Yeah, we both took a break. What was it, last week? Right, last weekend a little bit. We took a break, on like a Monday and a Tuesday or something like that. Monday, and it was good to have a day off and come back, and get that new feeling back again. So, well,
yeah, absolutely.
We'll see how that all turns out. I Monster Hunter has been fun, and it's been good to get a little break, and I'm ready to get back into some Fortnite myself. The couple games we played today were a lot of fun. Guys, you don't forget that you will never get tired of the one, the only GlomTom. So this show is obviously brought to you by GlomTom, glomtom.com. Use the code Fortnite for 5% off. We really appreciate everybody that's out there already enjoying their GlomToms. And don't forget, use that code Fortnite for 5% off. You will love it, and you will never get sick of that GlomTom. That will be on your lap forever and a day. Guys, thank you so much for the iTunes reviews. Couple more. I don't want to read like just one or two, so a couple more, and we'll get those read next week. So if you don't mind, please go to the iTunes store and on the podcast, and go ahead and put in your review there with some words and a little star, and we'd really appreciate that. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube and Podbean as well. And David, I mean, with like 40 million players, which was announced, we should have at least 1 million listeners by now. I mean, don't you think? Like
we should have a million listeners by now. Come on, 40 mil. Get on your job and point them at the direction of the podcast.
Yeah, let's go Fortnite players. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
That's all right. Epic's gonna make a big announcement and label us the official Epic, podcast. We're actually gonna take a salary from Epic and start to, do this podcast full time for y'all and really be that voice for Epic.
If Epic wants that,
that's sarcasm, by the way.
Yeah, because it
Just
probably won't happen. But if it did happen, we would quit our jobs and go work at Epic and do podcasts. Just so that's Epic, not sarcastic. Listening. Yeah,
I will definitely take that job today.
And you don't have to pay me that much.
You'd be surprised how little you have to pay me.
Well, I'm sure some people that we could probably get to go with us are actually here tonight. So this is going to be a fun episode for everybody listening, because we have the squad with us tonight, and I'm going to name this episode. I don't think you heard it, David, but like a keg stand, but I'm going to call it the Chug stand tonight with the squad. Stand. Yeah, so that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to do that. But we do have the infamous one and only, as you guys have heard many times, us shout him out. Whether it was making fun of him, whether it was making fun of him or making more fun of him, the one, the only, KyleTheAnxiouz, aka KyleTheAnxiouz. What's up, buddy?
Chilling, man. Now I'm AKA Kyle the Whiff.
Yeah,
Just
Kyle
can't
the
seem
Whiff,
to close
yeah,
it.
we did bring
Can't
that
seem
one
to
up.
close it.
yeah. Brad wasn't along with us
That
for the
wasn't-
whiff. Yeah,
that was Jack. It was Jack.
Yeah, it was Jack
and
that
it
was with us.
wasn't. It's not that you can't. It's just that you and Jack failed epically on that one.
You see, this is the problem, man. Every time I stand back, usually it's just us three. When we get like Brad or Jack in there, let's say, David, aka Captain Rendezvous, for those of you who do not know, be running around. He's going right up in the grill with a shotgun or whatever, and I'm chilling behind, laying bullets, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, if David dies, he's like, "Oh, he's one shot. Why can't you guys kill him?" Because I'm not up there. So Jack, he goes up, he tries to kill the guy, and I'm backing him up. I'm close behind. He gets rocketed, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this guy."
And you get
He turns around,
rocketed too.
and then he rockets me. And that's bullcrap, because every time I use a rocket launcher, it seems like they survive. Troy, you've seen me use a rocket launcher.
It was good. It was
Oh
a
my
classic
God.
whiff, though. It was
Oh
the
my God.
ultimate
It-
classic whiff.
It was classic.
And a guy that has been around for a lot of those whiffs in your lifetime, the one, the only Mr. BradBerg. What's up, buddy?
Not too much. Great to be here.
Man, yeah. So for you guys that are listening, Brad has been a long-time listener and also a long-time friend of ours that plays multiplayer games with us, because a lot of people that we play games with can't take the sweatiness that we play with, and Brad's pretty good at keeping up with us on being sweaty, and he also can brush off anything that we do as far as getting crazy with it. Because me and Nolxero, bro, we can get a little competitive, a little,
Yeah. We lack the ability to play a game casually. Like,
yeah.
we can be like, even with people like that we know are going to be bad or something, like, oh, we'll play a couple games and not really care. That doesn't happen. Because we get in there and we're like, oh my God, shoot the guy. Oh, do this. Oh. Yeah, we're pretty competitive guys,
I mean,
to say the least.
That's why every time we say we're gonna start rocket riding, it took us like a month to start rocket riding, because we were like, oh, we're about to win. Let's not rocket ride yet. Oh, we're gonna win. Let's not rocket ride yet.
Yeah, but see, once you hit after you get 3-digit wins and one playlist, you're like, whatever, let's rocket ride. I can win these, without even thinking about it at this point.
Yeah, no, and so we've started doing a lot more of that stuff. Of course, if you ask Kyle to rocket ride, he's continually jumping in front of you like, I'm getting shot. No, I don't want it. Yeah,
He'll try to strafe
Oh, what?
the rocket that you're trying to jump him onto.
yeah, he can whiff the rocket ride as well.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Does not
God.
work well to strafe the rocket, just so we're clear.
Well, let's get in here, and you guys can learn a little bit about Kyle and Brad real quick. All right, so Brad, let's start off with you. For those people that don't know you, obviously, give us a little glimpse of like your gaming background history, and let's start with that. And what was your first like multiplayer addiction? Like, what was the first game that got you sucked into sitting in front of your television for hours, drinking lots of beverages, not shaving your face? Kind of what you're known for now.
Well, I started all the way back on the Tandy playing some just simple side-scrolling PC lame games. And then when I got the first NES for Christmas one year, that was what kind of...
Wait a second. Wait. Everybody listening to this podcast that's like Kyle's age and younger, they don't know what the heck you just said. Like,
Exactly.
Did he say the
exactly.
Tandy?
The Tandy. Oh,
Yes. So
One of the old personal computers. It had I don't even know how many mega RAM.
yeah.
It could basically work as a calculator.
We
But
didn't
there
even
was
know
old
what a gig was
side-scrolling
back
ones.
when we were kids, people. Gigabytes did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
And if they did, they were like rooms full of memory to get 1 gig. So,
Yep, my first addiction was probably Tetris, and it came and went. It came when I was a kid, and then it came back in college in more of a competitive sense. But the first game that I got like actually competitive with was in tech school for the Air Force. I got really into Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament. We were playing those on a lot of computers down there, and kind of got me into that whole first-person shooter competitive. Like,
Right.
we can take this up a notch and really, be all in on it.
David, how awesome would it be to hear Brad getting sweaty with some Tetris though in college? Just no, that's
I'll do
no,
that
I
tonight.
don't know. No,
I
it's a
don't know
block.
if you
It's a square.
Tetris, I think it was Tetris 2, or maybe they just called it Tetris Attack. But there was like a Tetris where you would actually blow up bombs and like send a bunch of crap to both sides of the players, kind of like a Puyo Puyo or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Dude, that game was pretty intense. Like you could be 5 years old and learn your first curse words playing that game.
Yeah, in Tetris in college, we had the whole, sheet up on the wall with the leaderboard, and it was a big deal when you broke the record. And I remember like the first time, I forget the numbers, but it was like 100K, maybe a million. I don't remember. The first time somebody broke it, it was like, oh my God, no one's ever going to touch this again. And by the end, it was up to like 3 times that. It was it was cool. Yep. It made it a lot of fun.
Man. See, Kyle, that's the things we did in all of our old ages. We get sweaty on some Tetris, bro. You can't,
I'll tell you, I used to be sitting there with Super Turbo Hyper, whatever, Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo. That was the stuff.
You guys ever hear of the Tetris effect? Like how your brain can go into a mode where you're not thinking.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
They actually have done studies where if you play Tetris at a high level, afterward you can like be more efficient with other things because it's like your brain taps into a higher level of efficiency. It's pretty cool.
That's what I do every morning. I wake up at 6 a.m. and get my Tetris on for work. Just get me a few hours of Tetris in so I can be so productive at work.
I'm just happy it's Tetris and not Pong, man. You guys, I'll tell you what.
Hey, Pong.
Pong was for me.
Yeah.
Pong's awesome. I played Pong. I'm not gonna lie.
There's been multiple iterations of Pong throughout the years.
I played the old school, bro.
Oh yeah, with the Atari.
Yes,
you went back.
Yes,
you went
I
back
have.
with the
Yes,
joystick
I have.
and
My
the little Atari. Okay.
Yeah, man, my uncle. I even played the Sega, bro. Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's go.
Sega's not that throwback, bro.
It don't matter,
it's
man.
not
I'm
that
young. I'm
throwback.
only about to be 24, Troy. Come on now, bro.
Oh, that's good, man. All right. Well, what about you, Kyle? You being 20, about to be 24. What was the system you remember growing up on the most, and what was your first gaming addiction?
Well, the system I grew up the most was PlayStation
4.
and
PlayStation 4.
No, just still got milk on my tongue, bro. Chill.
Yeah.
No, man.
Like, have you ever heard of the system PlayStation 4? That's where I was at.
Yeah. Grew up on that hardcore.
No, man. No, I just playing PlayStation, and then like I really religiously played Spyro and Crash a lot. That was pretty awesome. I even played it. My grandma was in on that too. My mom too. Also, they remastered Galaga for PlayStation, so I was playing Galaga. If you guys know what Galaga is, that was pretty cool.
We do know what
then-
Galaga is.
Know what Galaga is.
Yeah, Galaga is awesome.
I do know what it is. Pretty cool is not the term that comes.
No, what, Brad? Get out of here! Oh my god, that game gets sweaty as all heck.
I did play a
Anyways.
lot of Banjo, and then what was the other one that they just came out with, the or the new version of? My gosh, what is that? People are gonna kill me right now but it's like the PlayStation Mario equivalent, platformer. What is it? Crash Bandicoot.
Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I literally just said it, Troy. What?
Yeah.
Those commercials were the best. If you remember Crash commercials, they were the best.
Yeah.
They sent Crash Bandicoot, and he'd have a megaphone, and he'd go to other video game companies and talk crap to them.
Yeah,
That's true.
I played a ton of Crash on like PlayStation 1, and ton.
I would say that's what I grew up with. My first gaming addiction came when I first got the Xbox 360, and that would be Halo 2. And I loved Halo 2, man. And I loved Halo 3 too. Me and David or Nolxero have talked a lot about that, but Halo 2 was my first gaming addiction, what I really got hardcore into. I really want to go to MLG tournaments, but my mom didn't allow me since I was so young. But that's where I really started to get sweaty. So that was my first addiction.
How many hours you got in Halo 3?
You know what? I went back and I checked one of my accounts, and it was like 600 plus games. I forget my other accounts, David. You know what? You're the Messiah. Let me bow to you. You're better than me.
games.
You're better than me at Fortnite.
What did I say like the
You're
other
me
night?
in
Like
Halo.
3,000 games, and you were
Oh,
talking your Halo
yes.
smack?
Yeah, you did have
Yeah,
some
over
like
here.
3,000 hours.
You know
You had
what?
something
Go
pretty
play.
crazy.
Go play casual Monster Hunter, bro. Go be casual.
Nothing
Filthy
wrong with
cash.
a game of depth.
That's true.
Death.
That's true. So as we move on here, speak of Fortnite and not playing casually. What
I love that they're getting to see like the real. This is exactly what it's like to play.
Yeah.
To listen. If you could sit in a party and listen to us four play, this is exactly it. This is exactly what you would hear.
Yeah.
True story.
I said a lot more Brad trying to reel us in, like, hey guys, there's someone over here.
Storm's coming.
Yeah, storm's
guys.
coming. Let's
North
go.
360.
Yeah,
North
I
360.
hate losing to the storm so much.
yeah, no.
Yeah, that's Troy's fault. Troy is the Storm Raider. The original, the OG.
I am
TwoLoud
the Storm
OG.
Raider. Hey man, look, that's what they made health kits and bandages for, right there, bro. For me.
I don't
Now
think I
Chug
told you this story yet, but I told Nolxero. But yeah, TwoLoud. I had a fight through the storm the other day to the point where I took 4 med kicks in a row to get out of the storm and made it out.
Applaud you, sir. I applaud
How
you.
didn't the clock get up to you, man?
It worked. Well, I basically
it
took
back-to-back
one,
storm?
then I looted 3, and I took 2 more on the way in, and I took the 4th one right after I ran out of the storm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you should have saved that and just like literally put up a YouTube video that would say something along the lines
Don't
of,
fear
like,
the storm.
Too loud would be proud.
Yep.
No, just say how living in the storm, dude. If I could get like, I don't know, if I could slot at least 6, maybe 9, take up 2 spots, have my like SCAR, a rocket launcher, and then just like 9 health packs. At the end, I wouldn't even shoot the guy. I would just live in the storm and keep healing.
Yep.
And
We should make a
and
video of like
See if I can win.
being in the storm without a med kit is like the beach at D-Day, but being in the storm with a stack of 3 med kits is like singing and just dancing around like you don't care at all.
Yeah,
It's totally
yeah,
different. But
But at the end, final circle, wouldn't the like storm kill you so fast that you didn't even have time to get one
Yeah,
off?
I'm sure
it does, but
yeah.
not till like the
Yeah.
4th or 5th one. You're fine up till
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, I mean, at the very end, yeah. If you were like having to get to the point where like people are having to
Well, hit
stand
you
on
like
top of each
20.
other, I don't know if you like seen the
Yeah.
ones where like they're standing on top of each other
Oh yeah.
and stuff.
Did you see that clip of the guy? He stepped into the storm to start taking damage, so he could use his med kit faster to win in
Yeah.
the end. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I've
Yep.
seen
It's a smart
crazy
strategy.
stuff. Crazy stuff. But here we are talking about Fortnite, obviously, because it's what we always talk about. What is it, Brad, that you like most about Fortnite? If you could say, like, this is what hooked me, or this is what I really enjoy, this is one aspect of the game that really hooks me every time I play it.
What always pulls me into PvP games is just the depth and replayability of kind of random chance encounters and how situations are different just by changing a few little variables. Fortnite is the epitome of that. Like, where you land is different every time based on how many people land there. You can land in Pleasant Park with one other person and it's an experience. You can land there with 30 people and it's a different experience.
Right.
And just every single encounter that happens on the map changes so much based on what weapons people have, what building techniques they use, what flanks happen, if someone's behind you or not. So it's just, on the surface, it seems like such a simple game, but when you get into it, just the situations change so much in every encounter that's what keeps bringing me back.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know, we've mentioned that we've been playing Monster Hunter a little bit, and like it's very intricate, right? Like very complex, more so complex things to manage and micromanage and things like that. And then I look at Fortnite, which is like kind of what pulled me into League of Legends years ago, which is like you look at it on the surface, like you said, and there's like, okay, I can only have 5 items, right? Like I can only build 4 things. League of Legends, I only have 4 attacks, right? But like you were saying, what creates that depth and, you know, the replayability is like what happens every round is so different. And then you start figuring out, well, it's not just 4 items. It's like, what 4 items do I take, or 5 items do I take this time, right? Like, okay, do I weigh bandages, rocket launchers? What do I do? And those experiences definitely.
Yep. And the great part is the answer to that question changes every game.
Yep.
Times you should have carried something else. Other times you shouldn't have. So this makes it great.
Yeah.
Yep.
I should have taken that extra med kit so I could live in the storm a little longer. That's exactly what I'm always telling myself. What about you, Kyle? What do you like most about Fortnite, bro?
To be honest, man, I really enjoy getting on every night. And usually, you know, me, you, and David are always playing every night. I really enjoy getting on with friends, having a blast, talking about, you know, real life things and just owning people sometimes. I mean, sometimes we're the ones getting owned. Sometimes we're the ones. Sometimes we're the ones getting owned. Most times we're the ones getting those W's, though. So
Yeah.
what do we win? Like at least 2 games a night now.
At least the victory royales
least,
are coming out a couple times.
Yeah,
Usually.
but that's what I really enjoy, man. I mean, me, you, and David have been playing games for what, like 4 years now, and I've always enjoyed the friendship, and I haven't even played with Brad that much until Fortnite, pretty much. And we are part of the same clan. We're part of Savvy, so just to be able to play with someone who is in my clan and get together and have fun and talk about some things, that's great. I really enjoy the shooting mechanics and everything else in Fortnite, but I really enjoyed the friend aspect the most, to be honest.
What about you, David? I've never asked you this question. What do you like most about Fortnite? In all of our conversations, this has been one I've never had.
So it really goes into PUBG, really, because not too long ago, my buddy Troy here decided he was going to play PUBG, and that was a determination that I didn't even have. Like I don't even know what really got you into that.
It was just watching it. It's just like Twitch. Like I kept seeing everybody play
like you
it.
kind of, I guess, started watching it and stuff. I didn't watch it at all. I didn't even really pay attention to the fact that this thing was happening called PUBG and Battle Royale. I mean, I'd heard of like H1Z1 and stuff like that. So like when I first saw PUBG, I was kind of like, oh, it's just like that H1Z1 or whatever game. So I didn't take much notice of it. And then, you were like, I don't want to play it by myself. And this is typical for me and Troy. Like he buys me some games. And so he's like, I'm buying this for you. Download it, install it, let's play.
I did. I made you play that game with me.
Yeah, and I downloaded it, and we started playing it. At first, I was like, okay, I mean, I can kind of see the appeal here. Then we, the next night we played it. Then we got a victory royale there, or winner chicken dinner there. And I was like, after you win, what's the draw? And so then we started playing more and more, and then I started to realize like the draw to it, like it encompasses a lot of things. It's like a looter shooter on a small scale. Like every game you're looting or shooting and running around. Something that's very addictive in gaming. That's why, they make games like Destiny and all these different types of looter games. And we enjoyed Fortnite, but what got me with, we enjoyed PUBG, but what got me with Fortnite was once I started to get into it was the polish that Epic has on this game. And I don't know how many people listen to us have played PUBG, and ignore what you've seen about the Xbox stuff. Obviously, that's an unfortunate state that they released it on the Xbox in that condition. But on PC, it was a better game. But on like low-end PCs or high-end PCs, it would have problems across the board. And they're obviously, I don't know if it's the team is less experienced. I'm not sure what the case is for them in particular. But Epic has like the resources, it has the experience. Obviously, they're working with their own engine. They know what they're doing in their own engine. So Fortnite's polish is it's the best kind of Battle Royale out there as far as the smoothness of it. So the Battle Royale is very addictive, but the smoothness is what gets me the most. Plus, I really like the building mechanic.
Yeah.
Really changes up. You just got to watch some of these guys like, Myth, Ninja, really any of the big streamers, YouTubers for Fortnite, and see some of the crazy stuff they do. And it's like who would have thought you could do all that? Like
in a video game.
In any video game. So
yeah, I think,
and then of course it's fun to get on and play with friends. And
right.
That's gaming in general. So
yeah, I think for me, like, what attracted me to Fortnite so much is what you were saying. Like, we've played a lot of Blizzard games, and we've praised Blizzard for, almost every game they've come out with that we've played over the years and talked about is like the way they polish a game, right? And they are the standard, like in the gaming industry. Like, no one can do what they do. Everybody wants to, right? But like Blizzard doesn't put out a game that doesn't take off. That's the reality of it. They spend years and like their betas are like some people's final products. And what Fortnite's done here, what Epic's done with Fortnite is on that level, right? Like they release this thing basically, hey, here's a free beta. It's in pre-release mode, but like it's pretty smooth, right? Like our engine works pretty well. Things happen. Yeah, this past week we've had some hiccups because of big updates and stuff like that. But the other thing that like draws me to this community and this game so much is is Epic themselves, right? And how open they've been with the community, the communication to the community, to content creators, big and small. They didn't just like come out and start advertising like, hey, this really big YouTuber that already has hundreds of thousands of people like Ollie, which nothing against him, but like all of a sudden like, hey, this guy, look, he's playing Fortnite too. And look at his videos. No, instead they took people also that were like, some people that we know from the Destiny community, right? And then also people from maybe communities that weren't really big at all, like MonsterDFace. They brought him in and like started helping him and advertising him, like, hey, look at this guy that's a content creator for our game. And like, so that to me also encompasses like part of my passion for being into Fortnite, and obviously, the game itself and the gameplay it has. But it's interesting that all of us have, I think we all love the same things, but we also have other things that shine here for all of us, and why we like Fortnite. I think that's why you have 40 million people playing the game, right? What is it as you go forward, Brad, that you think like there's something you want from Fortnite? Like, what is that thing you're like, yeah, man, I hope Fortnite does this, or maybe it goes in this direction, or we keep getting this, whatever it is?
Well, I think people start to take for granted how active they have been and how responsive they have been. And one of my biggest hopes is that they just keep that going, that they keep listening to the community, that they keep, doing performance, patches, that they keep adding items and keep just advancing the game and not kind of come out of the gate strong like this and then slow down after it out as the game, ages, because they're killing it so far. Like they had a huge update 10 days ago or so, and then less than a week later they came out with like a minor patch to like bugs that were in the major update. Like, I don't know, a lot of companies just are not on top of it like that. They're not as plugged into the Reddit and forum community and stuff like that, and It's great to see a developer doing that, and I just hope they can keep that momentum going.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. What about you, Kyle? Is there something you want in Fortnite? Is it like anything, a weapon? What are you hoping that it comes to Fortnite? Ranked? What do you want?
What I really like to see in Fortnite would be, I would really like to see more like a ranked kind of thing. That would be cool. I am a very sweaty kind of player. But more importantly, what I really like to see, and quote me if I'm wrong, but in PUBG, when you win, don't you get stuff like at the end, like towards an item shop or something?
Yeah,
you get coins. Yeah, you get coins, and it's not for wins. You get them every game, no matter what, based off your performance.
Yeah, and I do understand that Epic can't be giving away like V-Bucks all the time, whatever, because there's so many streamers out there that have 1,000+ wins. You know what I mean? So imagine how much stuff they would give away, but something for like when you win, more than just an umbrella, because most of us have an umbrella. You know what I mean? So a little something to just keep you going. That would be great, but they're killing it. Skins, progress, all these little updates, these minor updates, these big updates, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just keep it going performance wise, It would be great to see in the end game where they don't even have to patch it like they are now, but just patching little stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're killing it though. They're killing it. It's a dope game to play, that's for sure.
What about you, David?
The question is,
what
would I like to see them do?
Yeah.
Continue to do?
Yeah.
One, I'd like to see them take a realistic approach to how much their skins cost.
True.
They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely crazy if they think their skins are worth the amount that they're charging for. Not to say I haven't bought some. I have. Not to say I don't get tempted to go buy more V-Bucks. I have. But a little crazy, Epic. Sorry.
In fact, you want your refund from Paragon.
I was actually going to bring up Paragon just a sec, because I did want to say something in particular to what you said and what Brad was saying, and then relay that towards Paragon.
Go ahead.
But as far as what they're going with, the thing I like is about a week or two ago, I had mentioned like an acceleration gate as like a weapon or a trap that you can put down and maybe make you faster and shoot things through faster, like rockets and stuff. Now, I don't know that they'll ever put that in. I don't know if they'll ever listen to this and be like, yep,
it would be
we're gonna
awesome.
Put like that in.
It would be so
It would be awesome. But the fact that some of the stuff that they've put in the game makes me think like it's a possibility. it's definitely. I don't feel like, oh well, they'll never do that. Like I don't feel like I just said something and then felt like, oh well, they'll never do that. So fun to wish.
Right.
But I really, I do commend them on their creativity and how much they're willing to experiment with this game. Some people don't want to mess with the formula once it works. And they're not showing to be that way. They're looking at actually a new firing mode, right? They're looking at, they changed their map completely around. They've made changes to different gun types. So they're not afraid to mess with the formula. They are conscientious of it, but they're not like so afraid of messing with the formula, like that they don't experiment. And that's what I'd like to see them continue.
So I will agree with everybody on what they want. The main thing I want to see, like I can't wait for custom games, right? Like some of the things we know that are coming. I'm really excited about that. I think like what we've talked about too before, David, like a theater system so you can go grab different angles, maybe create some other types of content. That would be really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to touch on something I don't have in the notes that you just said and relay this also to what we mentioned, which is Paragon. So for people that don't know, Paragon is closing. They're closing the game. Kyle was a big fan of Paragon. He played it. I liked the game. Wasn't in love with it, but I liked it. David, obviously, you said a few times he was not a fan of the game. Brad, you probably never even played Paragon, did you?
No, I never did. I got into Overwatch at the time.
Yeah. So for everybody that doesn't know, it's obviously, this does affect people's lives. It does affect a lot of content creators. It's obviously nothing that I don't think Nolxero ever wanted or I wanted. Anybody that was maybe not a huge fan of the game, but they did.
Yeah, I mean, y'all texted it out today, and the first thing I said is, that was sad to hear. Like, I don't like Paragon. I don't think it's a good game.
Right.
But when y'all texted, it wasn't like I was like, yeah, I told you. Like, no, I mean, it's very sad. I hope everybody found places at Epic. If they didn't find places at Epic, I hope they found other places to work.
I mean, there's some really cool things about the game. Like, the game is beautiful, right? I think we can agree on that. I think the
artwork is nice.
The artwork was really cool.
And what they did for the Winterfest was even cooler, because they did add snow to their map, to their PvP map. Something that Fortnite actually didn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they tried to do a lot of cool things. They really did. And I think they said they just fell short. I mean, basically, this is a note from the team. It says Paragon to close on April 26th by the Paragon team. Hey, everyone. It's with heavy hearts we've decided to close Paragon. We truly appreciate everything you've put into Paragon. We've received many passionate ideas for where to take the game. The outpouring of thoughtful suggestions is another testament to an incredible community. After careful consideration and difficult internal debates, we feel that there isn't a clear path for us to grow Paragon into a MOBA that retains enough players to be sustainable. We didn't execute well enough to deliver on the promise of Paragon. We have failed you despite the team's incredibly hard work, and we're sorry. They go on to talk about if you want a refund, which is just crazy to me that, they're offering refunds for any time you bought anything on Paragon. I say this for a couple reasons. Number one, if you do want a refund and you want to spend it and keep it with Epic, keep it in their hands, you can go refund and get your money into V-Bucks, actually. So this is really cool.
Can you? That's interesting.
Yeah, so you can transfer all your stuff and get into V-Bucks. The other thing I want to say is, and you touched on it, David, is like they're not afraid to touch Fortnite, right? And they touched Paragon a bunch, and they revamped it many times. My worry is, and we've discussed this a little bit, like we thought, okay, what's happening? Like, did they put too many points of interest on the map with the last map update, right? Like, did they spread out that too much, right? Because you can literally win a game really easy now with like 4-2 wins or 4-2 kills. Like, super easy because everybody's going to these different places and there's not as much concentration around the map. There's more places to actually go to. And I feel like it spreads out the kills a lot more than it used to. But can they mess up Fortnite by doing too much? Like doing too many updates?
They could. I mean, absolutely they could. They could make the wrong updates. map changes to me are pretty significant. That's not something I think that you just put in and you're like, well, if we need to remove a bunch of points of interest, we can. There's other things that could really mess it up, but a lot of the other things I feel like are things that could be removed. Paragon had an issue of, unfortunately, they have League of Legends to compete with.
Right.
Right. And they're in a dwindling market. Like, MOBAs are not becoming more popular. There's everybody, when the MOBA thing started, everybody put out a MOBA. EA had a MOBA. There was Here's a New Earth. I've played like so many different MOBAs. Not to say MOBAs are going away, but people are pretty settled in, Heroes.
It's kind of like what a lot of people are going to do because they've seen the success of Fortnite. You know what I mean? Because of the success of Fortnite, everybody's going to come up with a Battle Royale.
Right, and everybody is coming out with Battle Royale. There's all kinds of Battle Royales coming out, and there's going to be those companies too that are going to have that issue. I think Epic hit it at the perfect time. It beat PUBG to console, so I think that they have a lot of grace here. I think there's a lot that they can do here and be okay. I did feel like the map update felt broken at first. Like, I liked it, I enjoyed it, but it felt like 50% of the bus was going to Tilted Towers. It's still pretty volatile there, but it's less volatile now. Now you're actually starting to see people in places you didn't before. I don't know what would ruin the game, but could it be done? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did want to say real quick before we get too far away from Paragon was the whole reason I wanted to say something about it was Kyle had told us about some boycotting or some, I don't know what's going on necessarily. I get people are pissed about that, but I will say, like, the fact that they're willing to offer refunds, regardless if they're saying, like, hey, get V-Bucks or whatever, or even if it's, hey, get your money back. The fact that they're willing to do that, and the fact that they're coming out and saying, like, hey, we can't make this work. Like, I know it sucks. I know people want to play that game. There's people that really like that game. But if it's not viable for a company, they can't just do it because you like it. Like, they have to make a little bit off of it too, right? Like, it's not just a fan thing where it's like, oh, hey, these guys really like it, so for however many people are actually playing this game, we're going to continue to make it.
Yeah. And you see, that's what cracks me up is when you bring up the boycott thing. Something that I told you today is another reason why they're shutting it down was the dwindling fan base. But you can't get on YouTube as a person and say, oh, I want to boycott Epic because they're shutting down a game that they first started and then Fortnite came out or whatever, and now they're worrying about Fortnite. No,
it's definitely
the community.
Fortnite.
Yeah, it's not. The community wasn't very good at, they were mad at the updates or whatever, but the updates didn't exactly break the game. It didn't make the game less fun. Yeah, because I haven't played it since Legacy or whatever. I've only played it since Monolith, but the game was still fun even after the version 42 update.
Well,
so you can't get on there and boycott.
They said like I read, they said Paragon. They can't. They don't have a clear path to grow Paragon into a MOBA that retains enough players to be sustainable. I mean, there it is, right
and
there.
It's just unfortunate because it's like I said, dwindling market. MOBAs aren't on their way out necessarily, but very niche.
Right.
And I'm sure the third person doesn't help because it takes away from what makes third person takes away from what makes like League of Legends so great. There's just a thing that is lost in it.
Yeah,
it feels more casual. So I just wanted to say, like, Epic's been pretty good about their communication, even with the shutdown of Paragon. Like, anybody that's talking smack about it, like, I'm not just some fanboy that's kissing Epic's butt, but I would say like they handled it pretty decently.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, as well as you can handle, I think, shutting down a brand that you also have to realize, like, these people love this game too. They've invested, some of the artists have like invested years into creating that content. You know what I mean? So like, it's not an easy walk away.
And we personally know of things that people that were just joining the Paragon team as soon as just in December.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So it wasn't like it's not like they had planned this. It wasn't like, oh, they've known this the whole time. No, they were just adding people to the team in December. We've talked.
As Kyle said, they just did a big map update in December for the winter event.
They did.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, look, I hope that, best of luck to everybody on the Paragon team. I hope you guys find a home. Thank you for trying to give us an awesome game as a community. Hopefully a lot of those people have come and they're playing Fortnite and enjoying that, and you guys are working on Fortnite as well, and finding a new home. And I'm also excited. Maybe they put them on a new team, like we talked about this. Like maybe they put them on a new team for a new game. Like Epic's got some really awesome other game that they're working on, that they're like, hey, let's take our resources and put it over here. So look, Epic has always been doing something. As you look throughout the years, they're always building something new, trying something new. They're not a company that has ever, gone with the mold of what's necessarily happening. They always try to go outside the box a little bit. So, from Gears to Fortnite to Paragon, it's always been kind of outside the box. So we'll see where they take it next if that's the case. But one thing I wanted to get into regarding the games and developers before we move on is a quote from TSM Dakotas. If you guys watch Dakotas at all, and this kind of goes with something Brad said earlier, talking about the bugs that we got from this last update, and here we are. They already addressed them, as Brad said. Like they've already come in and started updating things. The servers have been down a few days, like a whole day last week, basically. They even had a tweet out that said like they're gonna make it right for all the fans. And then they had some PSN issues. So if you're on PSN, they had some issues over the weekend. Long story short, this tweet comes out, and I think it speaks for a lot of community content creators, as our hearts are felt for Fortnite and for the devs. And it says, with all the bugs in Fortnite game happening right now, let's not forget how amazing these developers are providing weekly content, an amazing game, amazing skins, and bringing a massive community together to share it all with. Think about gaming life before Fortnite and now. So obviously we're here. All of us have started playing a lot more together because of Fortnite. And I think it's a good message, like, hey, let's step back and just because it's down a couple days, it's still a freaking awesome game. It's a free game. It's still free, right? If you want it, if you don't buy any skins, I've obviously felt like I've paid for it a few times now, but
I was just saying, we got to keep in mind too that part of why they're having these problems, pushing the edge a little bit, they're pushing out limits. They're not a sandbox, trying new, and that's just kind of comes with the territory. If they're going to take more chances, there might be more issues with it, but to me, it's worth it in the end because them not letting the game go stale makes it great.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that. That's a huge thing. And look, like you said, they're doing it because they're bringing us more content. So don't be too mad. In other words, all right. Speak of updates and things they're doing, we're gonna jump real quick into some of the patch notes for 2.3.0. All right, so once again, we have Epic on the show with this update. Eric Williamson, I believe it is.
Hey everyone, Eric here again. We have a special dev update this week, a snowed in edition. We still wanted to get all the key updates to you guys though anyway, so I'm recording this from my phone. Last weekend we disabled friendly fire. We made this change to reduce the amount of intentional team killing that's possible. We've received a lot of feedback regarding this change, both positive and negative, in particular for those who feel it might negatively impact the higher skill or competitive play. We're keeping an eye on how it affects folks across the skill spectrum, and we'll continue to evaluate. Recently, players found an exploit that allowed them to get under the playable world. With your help, we were able to identify the issue as well as those who were exploiting it, and we immediately updated and released a hotfix that prevented this from happening. As we've said in the past, we take cheating and exploiting very seriously, so we've taken action against those who are exploiting this issue. A big thank you to those of you who helped report those folks. If you buy the Battle Pass for Season 2, you will receive a free 5 tiers in the Season 3 Battle Pass. So don't forget, there's still time to buy, and all of your progress so far will be applied. Additionally, if you play with friends who own the Battle Pass, your boosts will stack. Keep in mind that this season's Battle Pass items are exclusive and will never be offered again. This week we are also offering a Battle Pass tier bundle, 10 tiers for the price of 6. All right, everyone. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Eric Williamson, for coming on the show once again. Having Epic here with us has been great. I mean, Nolxero, here we are, Epic again. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely wasn't recording that from his phone. He was kidding. That was
Yeah.
sarcasm at the beginning of the show.
He was here in the studio with all of
introduced you
us.
to it.
Here we are,
All right.
all together, sitting around a table, not spread across the country in different time zones.
No, we're here at Epic Games.
Yeah,
Told you.
hanging out.
New position.
So, Brad, obviously, he mentions team killing first. How do you feel about team killing being turned off currently?
My first gut reaction was kind of against it and feeling like it was kind of a Care Bear soft move to appease people. But the more I played with it, it actually is really nice because when you went in before and you planned with a group of 3 to do one of your squad bounties and they just take you out, like it was like, okay, that's a terrible experience. And there's a few times I'd shoot one of you guys in the back of the head while we're engaging through a doorway, and it's like, yeah, that's a skill thing where you should be able to avoid that, but it's also kind of a bad experience where there's not a lot of really great experiences that happen from, you don't usually see when teammates kill each other. So in the end, I actually kind of like the change. I think it has been just a better overall experience for the game.
What about you, Kyle? How do you feel about it?
Oh man, the team kill aspect of this game. I mean, me and David, we were in a. I was trying to get some.
You trying to get some from David, bro?
No,
come on now. You're married, bro.
Trying to get some.
Kyle, how you doing?
Which you don't know. Hey girl, hey. No, for real though, we were trying to get some challenges done, and we joined in a squad game, and all of a sudden we just got turned right before this actual change came. We just got turned on and got killed after we eliminated the whole team, and it's frustrating. It is. I really hate the team kill aspect. On another aspect, when you're running squads and stuff like that, I don't think you should be able to just if David's running in there like he usually does, David, and you're throwing grenades or anything, or Troy, if I'm running there, Troy's really good for throwing grenades when I'm about to hit a building. It doesn't kill me. And I think that if, for a skill-based game and where you're having a competitive aspect, if I do think team killing or friendly fire should be back in it because it does take skill away where you can just lob grenades, if your teammate's in there. And, I don't like that. But on another aspect, if you're playing with randos, it does help you from not getting killed from those random people who want your scar. You know what I mean? So I do think it has its benefits, and then it has its downsides. So what can you really do?
So I have a mixed feeling about it because I think that it's really good for the majority of players. I agree with you that and we've said this on other games before. Me and Nolxero have talked about it. Like, you don't want to divvy up the community too much into too many playlists, but I think this is an opportunity for them with 40 million players, like 2 million concurrent, something like that. I think it's an opportunity that they can actually go and say like, hey, we can have a playlist that is like a competitive playlist that turns this on. Right. And that way they have the regular Fortnite, they have, your solos, your duos, your squads, and then you have a playlist that you can select that's, for and maybe they rotate them. Maybe it's like this week it's, hardcore, or what do they want to call it, competitive duo, and then next week it's competitive squad, and next week it's competitive solo. Like that way everybody's getting the rotation every month and you can play it. Or maybe they make it a permanent. I don't know. But I definitely do think that if they take this to the next level as far as being competitive, which a lot of people are trying to get it to be, and they're going there hopefully when custom games comes out, we'll see what happens with that.
It's good for grenades. It's really good for people who want to use grenades. People are using grenades a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't like being team killed, but other than that, like, I think there's a lot of negatives to it. But not being team killed is really great. It's really, really.
I like knowing you're going in there and I can shoot a rocket right behind you. That's fun.
Yeah, but that's also kind of been a problem as well for me. Like, there's sometimes where I'm like building up to something, or I'm trying to build a certain scenario, and someone's shooting rockets, and they're shooting down my fort, and I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
And that gets frustrating because they know they can shoot it. Like, I can shoot it. It's not going to kill them. I can do what I want.
Right.
But I don't know. There's some negatives to it. I think that they're gonna have to make a decision. Obviously they can't.
Well,
I guess they
for the toxic area of this, right, which is a big reason they turned it off, from what I understand, is because team killing, right? Like purposely team killing somebody. I think that, like, I don't understand why more games don't put the vote to kick option in.
Yeah.
Like, just put the vote to kick option in. Like, did that person kill me on my team with my other squad members there? Yes, he did. Let me vote to kick him. Like, I just don't, I don't know. Maybe it's because, like, duos, it wouldn't solve the issue. Like, everybody.
I don't know if that'd solve the issue at all, because a lot of times you get team killed. It's you and 3 others, and one of them decides they just don't want you as a liability. So I don't necessarily know the other 2 would vote for you when they're together.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you're right. Yeah, this game just doesn't fit that mold very well, because it's not the same multiplayer aspect as a lot of the games. Yeah, that's a good point. So much for that idea. The other thing he mentioned real quick was cheaters. Let's just leave it at this. Don't cheat. Nolxero said it a couple weeks ago. If we see you cheat, we're gonna put it on the internet. By the way, you need to put that video on the internet.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, don't cheat. It's not cool. You have no skill, and I'll say it again. You have no skill to be a cheater. All right.
What's the fun?
Yeah.
What's the fun?
What's the point? You play to win, to beat someone that wants to beat you. If you're cheating, you don't accomplish anything.
I'm number 1 on leaderboards, but you didn't get there skillfully. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, but some people are into that. Like, you've seen Batman: The Dark Knight, right? And remember Alfred talking about the Joker. Some people just want to see the world burn. Like, some people find enjoyment in that. Like,
it's true.
There are some crappy people out there.
Yeah. So Nolxero said you're the Joker and you're a crappy person.
Hey, that's right. I've been called worse by better people. Hey, let's go.
And then the last thing is exclusive content per season. Nolxero, I heard you applauding this. This is pretty cool. I think that each season, it sounds like they're going to have this is like the confirmation we were looking for. Each season is going to have exclusive content. You will not see the Black Knight again.
Yes, I want to see stuff like that. I know there's going to be people that sit out there and be like, oh, that's not fair because I didn't play season 1, so I didn't get... Shut up. Like, I don't want to hear that crap. I heard that crap in Destiny. I'm tired of hearing that crap. Like, I should get rewarded if I played in season 1 or season 2 and you didn't, and you came to the game late. Like, cool, I'm sorry you didn't get there, or you didn't get the cool thing that I got from season 1 or 2. But you're here now, and it also makes you want to buy. Like, because let's just say 2 seasons from now, I'm a little tired of Fortnite for a little bit, and like where I'm like, I don't want to even play this season. I think I'm gonna take a season off.
Right.
And I see the Battle Pass rewards, and it's like, well, dude, that's really freaking awesome. It's an incentive to be like, oh man, maybe I do, maybe I need to buy that Battle Pass. And it also puts it on them to provide rewards that are cool enough to warrant me buying my Battle Pass each season.
Yeah. I'm excited that they only have them and that you won't ever see them again. So then that way, like you said, season 4 or 5, you can kind of flaunt that Black Knight skin. You know what I mean? So everybody can hit their Black Knight here. I'm going to hit mine for sure.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm about to hit it.
Brad, you going to hit yours?
By the end of the week.
I'll hit it. I still got, let's see here. I'm on 58 right now, but I'll get there. I got plenty of days.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hit it this week for sure.
Me and Brad are right at the same spot, I think.
Me and David, at the end of this week.
But and the one thing to go back to what you were just saying about the seasonal thing is y'all had said before, like, after the Battle Pass, like after season 1, no one's gonna rock Black Knight or the Dark Knight, and it's like, well, now actually people might, because it's like you might, they know there's people out there that don't have it. They didn't buy Battle Passes.
Yep.
So it gives it a reason to flaunt stuff that,
Oh, especially as we look back like in a year or two and you're rocking like season 1 skin. Yeah.
It'll be a lot crazier then, because it'll be like a year from now, like, where did you get that skin? Oh, this is season 2, bruh.
Yeah. Yeah,
do
bruh.
you even season 2, bruh?
do you even Fortnite? Couple quick things from 2.3.0. There's a ton of stuff, so go to Fortnite.com, read all the patch notes. Couple things I just wanted to hit on that we enjoy, that we noticed immediately. You got the auto run feature, which is really big. I'm going to bring that up again here in a second from a post on Reddit, which I think is awesome. So you can do that. They disabled auto aim. You can disable auto aim for consoles. I wonder if this is a setting now set for competitive play only. Like if they're going ahead and putting this in the game so that when you do custom games, you can demand this for competitive play, right? I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't know. Yeah. I agree, Brad. I thought it was interesting too because I was like, well, how many people don't want that on console to help them?
Yeah, why would you want that? But that actually makes sense. That's a good take.
Not only that, but sometimes the auto aim is a little too aggressive.
It can be. Yeah, and they've messed
I
with
wish I
it a
could
lot.
turn it off for building or something like that. Like have it per section.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, for the next update, while we're talking about this update, can we please make it to where my uncapped frame rate stays where I have it set to?
I was
I'm
literally just
so
talking
sick
about
and
that.
tired of having to go in there and be like, man, my uncapped frame rate got turned off again. Like, I want uncapped frame rate.
Yeah.
I know there might be people that are all about stability, which I gotta be honest, I don't see much of a stability difference, except that from what I've understood, maybe if you're on like Brad said, like the PlayStation Slim, and maybe your internet connection might have those effects. But other than that, uncapped frame rate's the way to go. Way better.
Yeah, we've
Way better.
definitely been enjoying it. And that's why I keep Brad around, ladies and gentlemen, because he reassures me that I'm right occasionally when these other two mofos never say nice things.
Get out of here.
Then also we got
This
the
guy.
wooden power poles no longer block your building. Thank you for
Oh,
not.
it's so annoying
Can-
when anything
can-
building.
Unless
Like it's
it's mine.
the worst experience.
Yeah, can we
Does trees still do it?
Yes.
Like, can we just stop this? Like, stop the madness, man.
not only trees. Here's my thing about trees. Like, I understand I can't build where a tree trunk is, but like when a leaf is hanging down off of its tree limb and my board's not even gonna hit it, let me build there.
I understand that too, but I think we're already living in ridiculous land. Okay, the game is like it's not
Realistic.
bound in
Yeah.
realism.
Yeah.
Right. It's not PUBG.
Yeah.
So let's just be real. There's times where I build a ramp and it's already floating in midair, and I'm like, however, if this was connected to nothing and somebody shot it, it would all my stuff would crumble.
Yeah.
But sometimes the game will let me just build in midair. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Just stop the madness. Let's get this building where I can build through anything.
Except
I mean, unless it's
except
like
for a
something-
house. You don't want to like build through a house.
You say that, but in what's it called? Man, the farms, Fatal Farms. There's times where I build directly into the ground, like especially by the rock garden where that chest is. I like to go get.
Yeah.
Like, there's times where I'll go over there and I'm trying to build up a ramp to go and look for the chest or get to the chest, and instead of going to the chest, it freaking builds right into the ground. I'm like, oh, but I can't build through a tree, right?
I get that. I'm just saying a house. We don't want the houses, like the big houses and barns, to be able to like, I'm just going to go straight through this thing and demolish the house by building on it. I think that
Well, I mean, I honestly, I'll be real honest, I don't see a problem with you being able to build straight through anything because it's not like your player character is just going to walk through it.
Well, I think the problem with it, if you did that, and not to get too sidetracked, but if you were able to build through any house or through any structure, is that you then take away that cover aspect immediately, and then you can just shoot out your ramp, right? You could literally just build a ramp, shoot it out, and it'd take out part of that building, and now that building is exposed compared to having to beat it down or rocket launch it or throw a nade at it, like to have the normal destruction. So like I think it would change gameplay a lot if you could just like, all right, you lined up on that side, Kyle. Brad, you lined up on that side. We're just going to build a flat ramp against this whole entire house and demolish it so these people have to run out. We can kill them.
Yeah, but it's not going to demolish the house just because you shot the ramp down.
No, but I'm saying if you're building your ramp through the house and it's deleting the house as you're building your ramp through it.
Oh, I'm not talking about deleting.
Okay.
I'm not looking for when I build through a tree for it to delete the tree. Like,
Oh, you're saying like the house
I'm
is still
saying
there,
just
but the ramp
like-
goes through. I
yeah,
gotcha.
I'm saying just no collisions with the building. Like,
Okay.
just like a fireplace. Whenever I build up on a house and I go through the
It will
fireplace,
wrap
there's
around
no
the fireplace.
collisions.
Yeah, it'll wrap
Yeah,
around it.
That's what I want to see.
I got you. Okay. Yeah.
And a little bit of fixing on the building consistency. There's times where like ramps just don't want to build, period. And some of that stuff is just really annoying.
I got you. Build like you want it to build around it. And I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying like if it builds through the like right now, if you build like through an ammo rack.
Yeah,
or, like,
I didn't
something.
think about that aspect when you were saying that. That's why I was like, what is he talking about? Demolishing the house.
Yeah, I don't want it to
I'm talking
delete.
about building, not blowing up houses.
I got what you're saying. So that's going on. Obviously, they had a lot of fixes, some cozy fire fixes where the cozy fire was still going, but you couldn't get repaired by it, which that did happen to me a couple times. They fixed the issue where players to pass through walls as they were editing them. There's tons of weapon updates to improve the accuracy of arc grenades. Fix an issue which allowed players to switch between two scoped weapons without leaving the scoped view. So if you had two snipers, you could switch between them instead of having to leave the scope view and reload. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things there. Go read that update. We've already dragged this.
Can I gripe on one fix?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So they fixed it so that the supply drop can't drop on you.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
Conceal you, so you can shotgun someone when they come to open it. I want them to put that back in. But if nobody comes and opens the supply drop, you're just trapped in it, and the storm will eventually kill you. Like, you can't get out, you can't open it yourself, you can't break out. It's kind of like a risk-reward thing. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually like that. I thought that was a cool thing that the community discovered by, and for people that don't know, what he's saying is like the balloons that drop on you, the red balloons or yellow balloons now, that drop on you with the care packages, like people can kneel underneath them or could kneel underneath them just like in a bush and essentially hide, and then someone would come open it up and then you could shoot them. So like I thought it added a cool risk reward situation to it, right? You had to be, those that knew about that had to be pretty careful going up to a box because you thought, okay, maybe somebody could be in this. But they took that out for now, and I'm with you. I think they should put that back in. The last thing, obviously, with the name of this episode, Chug Jug, put in, I actually, in the last, and we've played, I don't know, a good handful of games, at least since the update came out, at least, I don't know, 15, 20 games I've played, and because we didn't play much this weekend, we were playing Monster Hunter, but I haven't even gotten a Chug Jug yet. I know, Nolxero, you've experienced it a few times, and obviously it's a legendary drop. But Kyle, Brad, I mean, have you guys had your hands on the Chug Jug yet?
I just
Maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. What about you,
and
Kyle?
I just had right after you guys got off earlier today. I got 2 of them in a solo game, and I pocketed both. You can't stack them. To be
Right.
Right. That's something I thought you could. I thought you could stack them. No,
Yeah,
you
max
can't.
of 1. Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
max
max of
one.
1. Yeah, and so I had 2 of them, and it actually helped me win the game. I didn't use the other one, but the one definitely did. I won a solo, and it is a great, but I do think it takes really long. But it's a risk reward kind of thing. You know what I mean? Find a place and chug it.
Yeah, 15.
I think it's funny how you chug it slow.
Yeah, it's 15 seconds max health and max shield. It gives you. Brad, did you feel like it was too long?
No, I like it because you get so much out of it. What's great about it, when it first came out, everybody saved them. So end game, like you'd kill people and like they drop. It felt like fairly often, but I think people are getting smarter about using them and not saving them now because you can only use it once, really. So if you get through an engagement, you may as well use it.
Right. It's just like slurps. Like at first, everybody was saving slurps, and then now everybody just takes slurps as soon as they see them. Like, oh, I'll take that 25 shield, even if I have 25 health, even if I'm already at 100 health. You know? So, that's definitely a thing. Well, let's move on to our tips and tricks section with another tip from MonsterDFace.
You ask, do we have tips? Of course. And do we have tricks? Oh, yes, we do. So listen up.
So once again, another tip from MonsterDFace from his series, Win More Gunfights. This is still the first video we've still been breaking down for the 3rd week in a row. Thank you, MonsterDFace. And we're going to talk about carrying multiple weapons of the same weapon type, and specifically for early game.
So now, pushing forwards, I find my next opponent. Again, I'm just setting up and shoving these bullets right down their face. And notice right here, I take fire again. We switch weapons. Why reload a gun when you have a spare AR? Running multiple ARs early game is a fantastic way to keep aggression up and definitely win more fights. The time it takes for your opponent to reload, you don't have to. You're basically skipping a full reload. It's like having 60 shots in a gun.
So what he's talking about here, if you didn't catch that, guys, is a lot of people right now, they're carrying 2 shotguns, right? 2 pumps. Brad,
careful. You're gonna trigger someone.
You've been a big user of the double pump, but he's also talking about using 2 ARs at the beginning. So if you find 2 white ARs or white and a green or whatever you find early on, maybe it's a regular AR and then a pulse, right? And what he's saying is like, instead of just using one, carrying both so that you can switch between, and just like using a double pump and not having to reload. He's saying, hey, look, this allows you to keep the engagements going longer from your side of it. And I thought it was a really good tip. David, I know that you get a little heated about the shotgun sometimes, and this leads into that. How do you feel about people and the double pump situation that's going on right now? And what do you think about this tip about the dual ARs?
So, I mean, I'm not a fan of double pumping. I mean, I do it sometimes. I've kind of gotten away from it because I don't like the situation. I think it should be that your shotguns work the same way. Like, if I shoot one, the other one's on cooldown as well. I think that's the easiest way to fix that problem. As far as picking up guns, I understand what he's saying, but I think the bigger non-stated thing here is that when you're taking early game, especially like just drop, when you're taking weapons, you're taking opportunity away from your opponent. So if they can't find a gun and they have a pistol or a revolver, you're keeping them from finding an AR for the very early part of the game.
Right.
And that's why I tend to pick up a ton of guns, and I will go straight for taking my any of my consumables that I can, and really just limit what my enemy can find on the map during the early part of the game.
Yeah, especially on initial drop. I'm with you on that too. Like, I find out that a lot of times I pick up like a pistol and a couple SMGs, like always, and I'm cycling through them just like people do with the double pumps. I think double pump is just so strong. It's the one that's gotten the most publicity, but this is a part of the game feature, and I think that's why it's so hard for them to change the double pump situation if they feel like it is overpowered. It's not how they want the game played. I don't know that, and I don't know if they've made that statement or anything yet about how they feel about it, but I think the biggest part is like, it is a part of that game style, or that management style is a part of the game, and is a strategy that is very well used and not abused necessarily in other instances, right? Because if you're fighting early on and all you have is 2 SMGs and that guy's got an AK or an AR, like, you obviously want to, you might have to use both your SMGs real quick in order to be able to compete with him, depending on the situation, or a pistol or whatever. So, and being able to switch real quickly through those, maybe that's all you're finding is SMGs. I think that's where their obstacle is in trying to solve this issue of the double pump too. So
let's try to keep in mind too, people get mad about the double pump, but you are using up 2 of your 5 inventory spots in a game in which you could use 8. So like, there is a sacrifice to it. Let's just not forget that, as people tend to when they complain about it sometimes, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You definitely are, and especially in solos, right? With teams, I don't think it's as tough, because Brad can tell us he's double pumping, and so Kyle can pick up what we call slurpees, the small shields, and I can pick up full heals or bandages. Yeah, shieldies, and I can pull up full bandages or full heals, and so then we got Brad covered, right? So in that instance, it's not as bad. I think in solos, it's definitely more detrimental than it is in a squad game or even a duo. By taking up an extra space, like Brad said.
I will tell you this, with the double pump thing going around, it taught me how to build faster and better, because now to counter that, a person who's double pumping, I'd build a couple walls, get up on that, and shoot down on their head. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it has taught me how to do that. I mean, everything can be countered with building in this game, let's be honest. I do like the double pumps, though. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool feature.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen...
It's hard to do. It's not easy.
Definitely to be very effective at it. It's definitely...
Yes.
It definitely takes some skill. Kyle doesn't have that. Let's go ahead and jump over here to our last section of the show, our Reddit post.
I'm gonna tell the world.
Fortnite Reddit is the place to be for videos and memes and efficacy.
Ooh, look at my
Fortnite
post.
Reddit is the place to be for videos and memes and efficacy.
I want to show Epic.
Fortnite and Fortnite BI.
All right, so this is really cool. I'm just gonna read this, guys, so you can hear this. But this Reddit post is, to say the least, it was touching to me, because of the whole situation that's here. Not only did Reddit help this guy, being Reddit and supporting him and helping Epic hear his voice, but his request is this. Request for help. This is his title. Request for help for a disabled Fortnite player. And in parentheses, he put auto run. And they ended up marking this as an Epic commented thread. Enough people got on here and Reddit helped push it up, the community app, by saying Reddit helped push it up. And this is what he had to say. He said, "Hi all. If you could upvote to help get the devs' attention, I'd be forever grateful. I'm one-handed. I play with a combination of my hand, his right hand, face, and a stand for the controller. I lack the subtle movement a thumb can provide on the left stick to have to press it and hold against my cheekbone to play. The auto run feature means I constantly run now and fall out of buildings, off walls, and die way more than normal. I love this game." He put in little star here. I love this game and love the attention, but I'd love an option to disable it for himself, obviously. I play with 3 other people who were born without or have lost a hand. Our clan is called 8 Hands Are Better Than 4. And we all cannot play properly because of this. An option would mean we can come back and play. Please, Reddit, help. There's been a couple updates to this. Long story short, Epic's response to this is, "You're amazing. We'll add an option to turn it off. Thank you for your support." So, like, this is incredible, man, to me, to see, like, a community that, number one, gets behind, and Reddit can be Reddit, if you guys know it. And we've had a couple of the Reddit moderators on the show, and they are incredible at keeping this Reddit in a very healthy place, and I applaud them. And this is an example of that. And seeing Epic get on here, and we talked about before about Paragon and everything, like, just to see them take the time to get on. They don't have to respond to this guy. Like, they don't necessarily owe anybody anything, right? I mean, they are a game dev, and there's plenty of game devs that don't talk and communicate with the community like this. But, it's awesome that this guy could write this, get this up here, and then they would come back and respond. I just think it says 1,000 words. Like, they obviously didn't respond with 1,000 words. It was real simple. We'll add it. We'll turn the option on for you. We'll put it in there for you. Like, that's just, I don't know. It was really awesome. I thought it was a really cool post, so I wanted to share it this week.
It's nice. It's sweet.
Yeah. I just found it was pretty cool, man. It was kind of heartwarming. You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of cool. The more and more you see gaming getting as big as it is now, you see more and more people who are disabled actually trying to game or are gaming. You know what I mean? I think it's cool that people can take something and they can learn something, and in that aspect, they're better than me, because I don't know if I could have the head space for all that. You know what I mean? Like to get down and learn something. But that's cool. Sweet.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the gaming industry. Like,
yeah,
everybody, like, gaming as a whole is just so diverse. There's so many different groups of people. And I honestly, people always say, like, "Oh, you play games all the time?" I mean, as many as gamers as there are out there, like, I still work at a company with 5,000 people on our campus, and it's not easy to find somebody that's like, "Hey man, why are you tired?" "I stayed up super late playing video games." "Oh, me too," right? Like, that conversation doesn't happen a bunch. But I think it really speaks to how gaming is growing and how diverse it's getting and continues to grow. So, Well, as always, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you shoot us a review on iTunes. Leave us a comment on Podbean. You can always send all your complaints and emails to fortnitepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions, if it takes us a day or two to get back to you guys, or a week, whatever it does, we do have a normal lives, so we will try our best, and we do like to respond to everybody. So we will get back to you if you've sent us an email, or if you send us an email. Tell us what you like and what you dislike about the show. You can follow us on Twitter at Fortnite Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at TwoLoudTX, Nolxero, Nolxer, Kyle the Assist. No, just kidding. It's actually KyleTheAnxiouz. And Brad at
With a Z.
Yeah, with a Z. And Brad at BradBerg. Make sure you check out the official Fortnite Reddit pages. Go get involved in that community. You have reddit.com/r/FortniteVR and just Fortnite. And until next time, guys, dance out those kills and boast in those victory royales.
It was past the point to bring it back up, but toward the end there, I did get thinking they could really do a lot more with the victory screen, kind of like turn it into more of a tell a story thing, where they have actual like who you killed and how many killed they had, and kind of like
cool.
I don't know, present it in like a storyboard type way.
Some highlights, top.
Yeah, maybe even like keep it a replay of the last kill going on in the background or something. That'd be really sweet. Kind of make it more of a story, especially for those people getting that first win.
I will say, the one thing that was like cool about Destiny 2, Brad, is when you loaded up Destiny 2,
Yeah.
they had these images of, and they were just generic images, but they're like of Crota and stuff like that. And
I downloaded the free trial thing they had.
Oh, the
where you could
memories
play
thing?
You could play to like level 10,
Yeah.
and I got to see that on my end, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I did
the
like
memories
that.
was really cool. And that would be a cool idea. Like, remember when you killed this guy and have his name?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, even it was like just a generic like picture showing Tilted Towers, which is where you killed him, and it showed his name and how many people he'd killed or something like that.
Yep.
That'd be cool. And what weapon
Or
you
just
killed
flash
him with, that kind of
everybody's
thing.
name you killed across the screen.
Yep. Yep. And then when you watch somebody else win and you see they killed two people, it could just infuriate you.
Yeah. That'd be so funny.